In this video, we will see how arrangement styles can be used to optimize a chart space in OrgChart Platinum. Chart style arrangements are often a matter of personal taste. Many companies have styles that they like to use, and sometimes this becomes a balancing act between how much paper is available, how large the org chart objects are, and what styles that we're limited to. So I just wanted to walk through some examples of things that could help give you an idea of how arrangement styles works. So we're starting off with a chart that I've used before in other tutorials, for example, like importing Excel data. In this case, what we'll do is we're going to go to the Home tab. And here on the Home tab, the Arrange options are at the top here under Style. They only work if we have somebody selected. Okay, so I selected a person, and now my Arrange Style options become various. Okay, so I can use a horizontal alignment, which is what I'm using right now. I can change it to a staggered approach. I can go to, here's a popular one, which is, side by side, two columns. So there's a variety of things that can be done. Sometimes we'll also have to be able to do something with the assistant. Maybe the assistant is fine being shown directly beneath the top person, or maybe you'd like to change that. So here's this section right here deals with the arrangement of assistants. So they could be on one side or they could be on the other side. Let's check some other examples here where they could be popping out to the left or right from the actual person that they're reporting to. Okay, so we're just going to keep this simple for the moment. Obviously, if there's multiple assistants, then this becomes a little more interesting. So, in the process of doing this, I wanted to see what if we wanted to take all people in the organization and create a big company wall chart. Well, I can certainly do that. So let's go ahead and take a look at an option here called grouping. Grouping gives us the ability to dismiss or create a division. So if I dismiss a division after selecting Laura here, so all of her people will be exposed. And I can do the same for the others. I can click the next person down and expose that person's people. Same with the other one here as well. So just want to give you a view here that it's possible to make all these arrangement styles. um, and previously, we have a pagination or a subcharting that broke all of these down by one level, but we have the ability to expand that. So let's do that for the rest of them. I'll just actually just do a group selection of everyone else here. I'll just say dismiss division. And all of a sudden, you can see the chart is becoming quite busy. If I zoom in, I can hold down the control key and use my mouse to zoom in a bit. And I see there's still other individuals that have arrows, which means they have people reporting to them. So we'll do something rather bold here. We'll select all the people, okay, which is I'll do that. And I'll dismiss all of their division breaks as well. So now we've run up against a chart that's, very busy. It's not really usable because on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, it's difficult to read this. What we could start doing is going in here selectively to some of these managers here and changing the arrangement style to be vertical. What happens if we do that? So we start having some improvements in the use of space because we got vertical space to work with right now. And you can see as soon as I start doing that, the chart starts moving from wider to narrower. Okay, we'll try that over here as well. And there are mass ways in which I could do this, but I just wanted to just give you an idea of what this looks like if we step through it slowly. So I'll select another manager, and this one I'll make those people vertical hanging to the right. I can do this with the other groups as well. So let's just go proceed and do that. So we're getting pretty close here right now. And then the other thing we could do to make this chart more readable, let's consider having fewer things being shown in the boxes. To do that, let's just go into one of these boxes here and we'll edit the properties. So I select a box off the home screen home tab, I can click on properties, and let's do this. We'll go to the define layout tab. We'll remove the photo. If I remove the photo, we're just showing employee name and title. And let's do this for everybody. So as soon as I do that, these should become a little more readable because we're being a little more generous with the space that's available. Okay. So as you can see, oh, it looks like we forgot somebody here. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll dismiss that division as well. And that one had quite a few people in it. So that represents another challenge here. It's maybe vertical 2x2 as we create these. And maybe at the bottom, that wouldn't be a bad idea. We'll make them all like that. So as you can see, this becomes a bit of an experiment to achieve a chart balance that is going to be something that uses the paper well. And at the same time, it's got to be readable. So, if you put too many people on here, it's going to be really hard to tell. While we're doing this, before we get too far, I want to introduce you to something else, which is the page layout. The page layout gives us some options here. One is the top margin, and I've got a top margin set to 75. If I increase that top margin, what that is going to do, then I'll set it to, let's just say 100. What that's going to do is cause the chart to start with the top box a little bit lower. Okay, and so that uses up some space. If I want to fit the chart to the page, I can use this button, and that'll increase the size. If I want to size and position the chart, I can use this button, and you can see a shadow grows over it, and I have the option to make the chart smaller, which I don't think would be a great idea because we haven't used the space that well to begin with. Or I could just say, you know what, just fit this whole thing to the page. Do the best you can with it. So if I start working with this and start looking for opportunities to be able to improve it, then the chart becomes more readable. So anything, if the chart is excessively wide, we want to narrow it. If it's excessively tall, we want to shorten it. By doing so, we make all of the boxes more readable by the time we're done. So this is just a quick tutorial, quick overview of how it is we can make the best use of this space and thereby make the most readable kind of chart possible. Now, if I were to just kind of zoom in on this a little bit, this printed on a piece of paper would probably be fine. One other thing we'll do as to see an option that's available is wherever these boxes are hanging, vertical left or vertical right, I can select a box here, the manager, and I can go to arrange subordinates. And all of those choices that were available graphically to me off of the arrange button on the home tab, they're available to me. And if I get to this one at the bottom, this is the only place where this is offered. This is an arrangement options. And what I can do with that is I can drag this, let's drag this joiner here, this pin off to the right to 84 or 85. And what you're going to see is that the line for the subordinates that joins into the top box, it's going to shift to the left if you watch this for a second. So this is another technique that can be used to help us make the chart more narrow where it's become too wide. I'll see if we can work on some other optimizations. So now at this point, this is about as far as I can take it with moving these joining lines off to the left where there's vertical hanging left or right. We're going to try something else now, which is called grouping. And grouping has the possibility of being able to take a group of individuals here and make them in a vertical stack. So for that, we right click and then we go to vertical group and we can create a group. And you'll notice that it starts pulling people into a smaller grouping here. And that also gives us the ability to go ahead and create a way to shorten this. So if I do this enough, then we can see if there's some way that we can reduce the amount of real estate required for this chart. So after I made vertical grouping, I was able to reduce the amount of distance between the top box and the top of the chart. And I had been able to sort of reduce the size of some of these boxes. All I did was really I would just grab, a series of boxes, and then I would grab onto the to one of the blue anchors here and then just push upwards. And that would reduce the amount of size for that particular box or that area. So there we have it. There's a simple wall chart. You could print that on a plotter. If it's on a smaller piece of paper, this is probably as good as it's going to get. And but just wanted you to see just some of the trade-offs that you work through when you're trying to make one of these charts and to get it to fit. For example, in this case, on one page. Again, if I wanted to, I could go back and I could just create our divisions like we had before. If I selected that, and then I could go back into our menu for grouping, and I could create a group, and then we're back into subdivisions or subcharts that are easy to work with on a multi-page basis. So hope that helps. This is chart arrangement styles, giving you a brief introduction. Many things you can do with the OrgChart Platinum program, and hope you continue to learn. And with any questions that you have, please don't hesitate to contact us at support@officeworksoftware.com. Thank you.